Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss the comment that was made months ago by Jamie Lee Curtis when she said that Halloween Ends will make a lot of people very, very angry. Now we've been speculating and theorizing about what that could mean ever since. But in a new interview with Jamie Lee Curtis and only a couple of days away from the film releasing, she opens up and finally explains exactly what she meant by her statement. And her explanation is probably far from what you thought it would be. Let's go. So DigitalSpy.com just published an interview with Jamie Lee Curtis where she gives us that long-awaited explanation as to why Halloween Ends will make a lot of fans angry. Now the headline reads, Jamie Lee Curtis explains why Halloween Ends will make people angry. And the article reads, endings are tricky to get right, especially when it's a long-running series with a big fan base. Back in October of 2021, Curtis had said that the threequel would make people very angry, but that might not be to do with the ending of the movie. Now, talking to Digital Spy, Curtis explained that it's actually the themes of Halloween Ends that could prove to be the divisive element. Quote, I've been saying people are going to be angry from the beginning. They're going to be angry because we're saying something about all of us as a society. This is about victims. This is about victim shaming, she noted. This is about what happens in a town when we have all become monsters. People don't like to be told they're monsters. You've seen the monsters on Twitter. All that social media has done is really reminded us all that we're monsters and that we have that power. All right, guys. So, okay, here are my initial thoughts when I read this, is that this could be, we heard a lot of talk about this movie months ago about how there could be some political overtones. And what I mean by that is there could possibly be some of David Gordon Green's maybe personal political agenda, personal commentary. We heard about the whole virus thing that you guys know. It's been going around for a couple of years now. It's a big deal. That was allegedly going to be a part of this movie. And rumors are since then that actually was taken out of the film. It wasn't going to be a focal point. I don't know. Who knows? That we'll have to wait and see. But that's what we've heard from the rumor mill anyway. That's not really a big part of it anymore, like it originally was going to play a bigger part. But here we've got in a situation where I think they got to be careful. This is an area where when you start to become, it's one thing to like identify and highlight behaviors in a film of characters that allow us as viewers to self-reflect. I think that's beautiful. That's a really good thing. It's part of what is so great about films is it does give us a chance to do a little bit of reflection sometimes on scenarios in our own lives and kind of see these behaviors play out, and albeit they're fiction, but they can still highlight those things. So I have no problem with a writer or filmmaker trying to maybe kind of show the effects of certain things. That's fine, as long as it makes sense within the context of the story and it really it fits in well with what's being seen and told. I'm all for it. But here's where the line gets really, really dicey. If you ever cross the line over from being an effective storyline point to becoming preachy or becoming to where it's more about what this point is than the story, that's where the line gets blurred and it crosses over where people I could see people getting angry. And Jamie Lee seems to think, and as she says here, she said, I've been saying people are going to be angry from the beginning. So she already has a sense about where this story is going as far as how it could affect the viewers. So she has at least enough cause within her to publicly say, I think folks are going to get upset. They're going to get angry because what does she say? People don't like to be told you're a monster. And this is about victims. This is about victim shaming, she says. And the comment she made, though, about social media was interesting, too. How, you've seen monsters on Twitter. We all have. We've all seen people that abuse their platforms online and shame other people and do horrible things with the platforms they have. I mean, we've seen that, unfortunately, far too often. And she's like, social media has reminded us that we're all monsters. We have that power. So my only concern about this really is that I just hope that as we're watching this film, this is not what the movie becomes about. Social commentary absolutely can be effective, and there's a place for it in the right proportion and in the right way. But there's also a wrong way to do it, where it's out of proportion and it becomes more about that. And that's the only thing I hope that David Gordon Green kept in check with this. And again, I've been saying I think the first two films are good. I'm not going to all of a sudden think he's making a bad movie. So I'm staying very optimistic. I'm very excited. We're almost there. We're a couple of days from the movie. But when I read this article, I said, I have to share it with you guys because this has been such a point of discussion since she said that initially. And we've been talking about it and wondering about it. Like, we're theorizing all these scenarios that could make us angry. People dying, all these ideas. But she's basically squashing all that in the way of the thing, and nothing to do with the ending of the movie. It's about the whole theme of the film, about victim shaming and basically calling out everyone as being monsters. And I'm sure this goes into the Corey being accused of killing the child, the babysitter thing, and probably will be innocent of that crime. And then, but they're shaming him as if he did it. I'm sure that's probably part of the mix, is my guess. But my only hope is this, and I'll leave it here. My only hope is that whatever they're going to do in this vein of telling us that we're monsters and we all have that potential to be monsters, fine, that's fair enough. But I just hope it's going to be done in a proportionate manner and in a manner that makes sense with the story, and it doesn't become bigger than the whole point of the film we're watching, which is to see Laurie and Michael battle it out. And Laurie goes on to say, it's a movie about Michael and Laurie coming in for this final, inevitable battle between good and evil. But in the midst of it all, it's asking, is Michael really just evil? Or are we all a little bit culpable here? And she says, I have one small contribution in the narrative part of the filmmaking in the current film toward the end, where I feel my contribution has made an effect on the movie, but virtually nothing else. So she's basically saying that she has had an influence on this film in the ending, towards the end, something she has, I guess, talked with David about, and her narrative was implemented into the film. But the question is Michael really just evil, or are we a little bit culpable in that? This is where it could rub us the wrong way. And depending how they're going, again, it's all about how aggressive are you going to be on this? How actually direct are you going to come after these folks and by proxy through them, us as the viewers? And I just hope they do it in a way that's tasteful and is not overbearing to the story. That's the biggest takeaway as I read this interview. So, guys, that's what she had to say. So, I really want to hear what you think about it. I really do. What do you think about her statements here? And let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Let's discuss it. Give me your opinions. What are your thoughts and ideas about her reasoning for why we may become angry with this movie, because they're going to call us out as being monsters in our own lives. So tell me what you think about that, and let's discuss it. Well, that's going to be all for this update, guys. Listen, I'll be back soon, though, with more Halloween ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.